Let's not keep Keegan Michael Key waiting any longer. We have not talked to him since we obsessed over that remake of Predator that he was in. And I legitimately believe this man is as talented as anyone who's doing anything in Hollywood. So I'm always thrilled when he makes time for us. He has been an advocate for voting rights, so he would tell you as well to text Dan to 57568 to be part of our register to vote, or check your registration status here on National Voting Registration Day. And he's also in Transformers 1. So, Keegan, it's nice to see you again. Thank you for making time for us. We have come a long way in these Transformer movies. This is an animated one, and it's getting great ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. We've come a long way from the Megan Fox days of Transformers.
Dan, good to see you. Good to hear you. I love everybody's amazing look here. Can I just talk about this? What's with the wig? I wanted to talk about this wig for a second.
I wish you wouldn't. You
wish I wouldn't?
Well, it's just a bad idea, poorly executed. But Roy, if you'd like to explain to a really talented person how to do entertainment poorly the way we're doing it, please explain why you're wearing a powdered wig.
I am supposed to be Barack Obama. And I was told to dress up in a suit and wear a wig today. So, yeah.
So you did execute. You did execute it.
I followed orders.
Yes. So you actually. I love the word execute because it sounds like someone has done it well, whether they've done it well or not. You just say, I executed the order. But I went, okay, now I'm satiated. My curiosity is satiated.
Yeah, no questions about Abraham Lincoln, though? No questions about sad, angry Abe Lincoln?
I'm pretty straightforward.
Sad, angry Abraham Lincoln.
What question would you have?
You look like a vicomte from Dangerous Liaisons. That's what exactly. Like he should be going to a duel or something like that. It's funny. We have come a long way. I was trying to figure out that first Megan Fox, Shia LaBeouf. Was that 2007?
I don't know.
I think that first movie was 2007, and so it's been. This universe has been around for quite a long time. The interesting thing is, it's actually been around. If you're someone like my age, it's been around for 40 years. Because I used to watch the cartoon when I'd come home after school in 1984. And it's been a real fantastic and it's been an honor really to be added into this franchise, especially during this film.
I figured you'd be too old. Weren't you a teenager about the time that you're talking about there?
I was a teenager. I think so in 84. So in 84 I was 13. So I was watching it. Yeah, I was coming home from junior high and watching the show. And then I also went to go see the animated movie in 1986. I went with my friend Dave McFarlane. I still remember my buddy from high school, and we went together to go see the movie, and we were super excited. And the most jazzed thing we got like hyped up about was that somebody swore in the movie, and it was a really random off-camera swear. There was like this one human character who used it, like cursed, and we were both in the movie theater going, "What? He just said the S word." It was crazy because it was this random thing in the middle of this animated movie. Right in the middle of this animated movie, this guy just drops an S-bomb, which you don't hear very often. Everybody drops an S-bomb almost every day.
I always have a lot of questions for you about your career, and but I will play a clip. Let's play a clip here of the movie Transformers 1 that features his character. And I will say, I don't even know if he's a classically trained actor, but he does song and dance and can do Broadway and can do anything in acting.
I imagine that might be highly offensive if he actually is.
Well, I just don't know.
I believe he might be.
I just don't know if he's got classical training, but he comes off as somebody who absolutely does.
I am a classically trained actor, so there is that.
We are now playing the clip right now. We are playing.
Did you start out in the theater?
He's just standing there. looking like smug Abraham Lincoln. He's like, I believe he is.
Did you start out in the theater?
I'm sorry. I got in the way of the clip. I'm sorry.
Theater.
I was just going to do an assassination joke. Just get it moving.
Let's play the clip here for the classically trained Keegan Michael Key.
You can call me B or Badassatron. It's a nickname some of the guys gave me. I don't know. I didn't give it to myself or anything. Actually, it's pronounced Badassatron.
Have you done a lot of voice work like this? Have you done a lot of voices in movies? It's a different kind of acting, right?
It is. It's a completely different animal. But I've done several animated films, and I've done a lot of voice work, which is really fun because you kind of get to be a little more exaggerated when you do animated work and voiceover work, because you're trying to vocally match how exaggerated the cartoon looks. And so it kind of gives you license to be really broad and go overboard. But what was interesting is I find myself, when I do a lot of voiceover work, trying to give myself a challenge to cover up my voice or disguise my voice with, a lisp or an accent or something. And in this one, it's really kind of bare bones. It's really just me. It's kind of like a higher, energetic, youthful version of me, but it's still really kind of just me.
Do you have a kind of work that you enjoy the most? I don't know. I imagine that most people want to talk to you about Key and Peele, but I don't know what you would say is the thing that you like doing the most.
I absolutely loved being on Key and Peele. There's no doubt about that. But the thing I love doing the most is live theater. And I think probably because you get instant feedback from the audience. I mean, when you're making a film or a television show, you can be having fun with your colleagues and your coworkers, but you can only guess how well it's going to be received by an audience at home or in a movie theater. Whereas when you're there live with the people, there's this wonderful synergy between you and the other actors, you and the audience, you and the crew. It's such a wonderful, exhilarating experience. It's like sports. It's like you're playing the game of the play. And that's something that I really enjoy, probably the most.
Live theater, not a fan.
Not a fan.
Well,
you haven't seen, Dan. You haven't seen the right shows. That's what it is. You just haven't seen the right shows.
I'm a fan. Abe Lincoln's not a fan of live theater because of what happened to him.
I missed it. Yeah. Of course.
It's okay.
Well played.
Yeah. He got shot in the head.
Played.
Right.
Yeah. John Wilkes Booth.
He was killed,
Yeah.
There
At the
was
old
that.
Ford Theater. Yes, sir.
When people want to talk to you about your roles, what are the things that they want they want to talk to you about the most?
Absolutely, number one always is the substitute teacher. They want to tell me that they have a friend named Balake or Jay Quellen or D Nice, or my name is people say, my name is Aaron. You ruined my life. Thank you. So that's usually the thing that thing caught wildfire years ago, and it's still going strong. And there some kind of magic happened, and we're not sure why, but we love it, and I think we're blessed that it's taken on a life of its own. So that's the thing people talk about the most.
When you say you don't know why, when you were in these things, did you know? Because I imagine it was a lot of fun to do that and enormously hard work as well in a way that people might not understand.
Yeah, it's interesting that, Dan, one of the things that's so fascinating about our job is that there's very little science to it. You never know what's going to catch fire. And the only thing I could ever put my finger on, the two most popular sketches on Key and Peele are both about names. It's about switching people's names, changing people's names, or highlighting the fact that people have unique names. And I don't know what to attribute that to. I'm not an anthropologist, or a psychologist, so I don't really have a take as to why. But there must be something. The thing is that sometimes the stuff that you have the most fun doing will be the least popular thing, and sometimes something else that you do, you go, oh, that was pretty good, and then it somehow blows up. There's really no rhyme or reason to it.
You
can't-
never
it's hard to
know.
figure out.
You never knew breaking up laughing and doing something that would be the one that echoes.
I never knew, because I remember when we did that substitute teacher sketch, I remember thinking this is a super solid sketch. And at that point in time in my life, I'd been doing sketch for 12 straight years. And I thought to myself, this is a really good sketch. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to play it. I actually thought to myself, I'm going to play it as seriously as I can. I try not to wink at the comedy, because it's always very important to me to remember that the characters in the sketches or the movies or the TV shows, whatever I'm doing, they don't know they're in a comedy. So you have to remember that they don't know. They're just living their lives. And we didn't break up a lot. We improvised a ton in that sketch, but we didn't break up. We didn't laugh a ton. It just was like really well done. We had no idea that it was going to get into the public consciousness this way. And then there are other sketches that I did where I thought, God, this is so much fun. It's got to go well. And it did. So yeah, there have been times. There actually have been times, now that you mention it.
Well, how about this one? Because Barack Obama, the actual Barack Obama, not our unreasonable facsimile in a powdered wig, I want to put side by side in B-roll here. You guys were making fun of, and it was funny, of Barack Obama. Jordan Peele was handshaking and dapping up white people and black people differently. And Barack Obama, go ahead and run that for Keegan Michael Key so that people can see that Barack Obama seemed to be doing this with NBA basketball players on purpose, but I'm not totally sure that he was it's the same thing. So tell us what you're watching here, how he shakes Steve Kerr's hand and how he shakes everybody else's hand.
I love that somehow, I don't understand why, but I love how somehow Steve Kerr is more black adjacent than the other coach. The other coach, like that Steve gets the hug. It's so funny to me that, and I think, maybe I'm being naive, but I feel that what the president is doing, the former president is trying to make everybody feel culturally comfortable. And so it's actually, he's like physically code switching, which is it's a fascinating cultural phenomenon that we have. But anybody, it's funny. I'll meet other black people and it's like, it's hugs all around, a complete and perfect stranger. And it's just hugs all around. And he knows what I'm talking about. Powdered wig Obama knows what I'm talking about.
Do you miss Key and Peele at all, or is it you're all about growth in your work? It's obvious. So is that something that you miss, or did it live and do its useful thing for you, and then you moved on to other things?
I think the way that you just put it is perfect. I think that it lived its useful life. Key and Peele always holds a place in my heart. It's very special to me and to my life and what it's done in my career and helped me do in my career. With that said, if there was, if there ever was talk of a reunion, I would probably more than likely say yes to that. I enjoyed working with Jordan so much, and we enjoyed each other professionally and creatively on such a profound level that I would love to do it again. But it was a season in my life, and I think it kind of served its purpose.
Have you talked to him about whether he'd be as interested in that as you are? Because everybody would love that.
We have discussed it. We've talked about it lightly, I should say. And he kind of is where he is, and I am where I am. But if I remember correctly, the last time we discussed it, Jordan said everything in its right time. So if the time comes back and it seems like it's right for us to do it again, it'll present itself, like the universe will present it, and then we'll pursue it. So yeah, we do discuss it sometimes. I was just with him this last weekend. We had dinner and with our wives and had a wonderful time. And I miss him because I live in New York. He lives in Los Angeles. So I miss him. So if that opportunity came up and it was right, I believe we would do it again.
Transformers 1 is in theaters this Friday. I really will watch him, whatever he's doing, because he is so wildly creative. Stugotz wants to ask you a sports question.
Well, I asked the important questions, okay? What do the Lions have to do to bounce back and beat the Cardinals this weekend?
I think, first of all, Aiden Hutchinson, I think that those 4.5 sacks came at just the right time. I think it boosts his confidence because I think he'll stay after Kyler and I think that he'll get to him a couple times. I mean, I know how nimble Murray is, but I think he'll get to him a couple times. This is how I chalk it up, and this is not it's just my own personal opinion. I just think that Jared had an off day, much like he did last season during the Thanksgiving game. He just had an off day. And those last throws at the end of the fourth quarter, like when the clock was going down, it was just like they were lackluster. I think that when that happens to him, he always bounces back. It really kind of was on his shoulders. He just wasn't having a great performance. And I think he's going to be fine.
That was a disaster. They were one for 7 in the red zone. How do you get only 16 points when you've got 463 yards?
Yeah, that is a conundrum, and that is a concern of mine. But I feel like the bounce back is going to happen this week. I feel like it could be a shootout, and sometimes I think Ben Johnson thrives during a shootout. So I think it could be a shootout. I'm thinking about those two secondaries, and if everybody slots in where they need to, it's going to be a really entertaining game. My God, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Yes.
This kid just arrived.
Yes.
It's always nice seeing you.
He did arrive. I was debating that yesterday.
Yes, always nice seeing you. Always nice talking to you. Again, Transformers 1 in theaters this Friday. Thank you, Keegan. Nice seeing you.
Thank you. You too, Dan. It's always a pleasure. Take care, Stugotz.
See you, buddy.